Alvin Jackson is on his way to see one of the crown jewels of North Georgia, the Oostenaula River that flows through the city of Rome, providing drinking water to thousands of homes.
We swam in it, we fished in it. The river's always been one of our richest resources.
A blessing, but over the past few years, a curse as well. In 2016, state environmental officials identified elevated levels of a toxic chemical in the river called perfluoroalkyl, or PFAS for short. It's man-made and known as the forever chemical because it does not break down naturally. A recently settled lawsuit put the blame on carpet manufacturers and chemical companies upriver. Exposure to PFAS has been linked to severe illness, including high cholesterol, thyroid disease, and cancer.
What does this lead to? What is it going to do to me?
While the city changed its water source 8 years ago, state health officials have never tried to measure the impact of the contaminated water. The Georgia Department of Public Health telling Atlanta News First in July it does not have plans at this time to conduct testing, saying most people in the United States have measurable amounts of PFAS in their blood. So, we decided to try to measure the exposure ourselves, purchasing these testing kits from a company called Eurofins. It's developed the first direct-to-consumer at-home PFAS blood test. And this past September,
today's the 22nd.
We asked 11 Rome area residents to participate, people who have lived in the area for at least 20 years.
1, 2, 3, go. Do it at the side of the finger. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, I hate this part.
Really hard.
It really didn't hurt at all.
Alvin joined too. He's on the City of Rome's school board, and Barbara Pinson, the county's Superior Court clerk.
I mean, a little finger prick is nothing. Hopefully our results are going to prove that it's not anything that's real serious, but we need to know.
A few weeks later, the results arrived, revealing every participant with some level of PFAS in their blood. That was expected. The chemical is used in hundreds of household products to make things water and stain resistant, including nonstick cookware and food packaging. But the amount of PFAS detected in the participants' blood raises concern. Nearly all of them had higher levels than the national median.
And you would expect it to be elevated, I think?
We asked 3 scientists to review the results, all with extensive backgrounds in PFAS research, including Dr. Dana Barr, professor at Emory University's School of Public Health.
These are the reports.
She traveled to Rome to provide her perspective to the participants in person.
I do think that there is some exposure that's occurring in this region or with these people, obviously.
Definitely exposure in this community in some way.
I think you could use this information to go to the city or to the state and say, we want an exposure study done in this area. And I think that it warrants it given this information.
The other scientists agree. While the sample size is small, Dr. Jane Hoppin with North Carolina State University says more testing should be conducted.
Everybody should be tested, particularly in communities where we know that the water has been contaminated. You've opened your eyes, you've opened this community's eyes.
Dr. David Andrews is with the Environmental Working Group, a nonprofit advocacy organization.
If you worked for Georgia's Department of Health and you saw these results, how would you be responding?
I think they should be concerned, and I think they should be responding in terms of thinking about what are the action plans for this community and what needs to be done.
Alvin's PFAS levels, the highest of all the participants, nearly 7 times the national median.
So I'm wondering, how is this going to affect me directly? Am I going to develop some type of cancer or some type of disease,
The participant with the lowest PFAS levels, Callie Swafford, and it was no surprise to her. For nearly 10 years, her drinking water has come exclusively from a natural spring outside the city.
The proof is in the pudding.
So it's validating for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
By a raise of hands, how many people want the state to do more testing?
Despite the results, the state's health department's decision remains the same. It does not have plans to conduct blood testing. adding without direct oversight and knowledge of how the tests were administered, it would be irresponsible for DPH to comment on the results. Mike Elliott's PFAS results were more than twice the national median.
Doesn't this make you mad?
Well, yeah, it does. I mean, all chemical exposures make me mad. Because, you want to be able to live in a world where you're not being exposed to something against your will.
It seems like we should be able to yell and scream at somebody. Something needs to be done.
I agree. It takes money to do things, though. That's the problem, and somebody has to fund it.
A community poisoned without permission, and no plans from the state or any agency to help give more residents answers.